Hey guys, welcome to Road to Forex. Thank you for being with me here today. Now we've got probably my most ambitious video to date. Extremely challenging to do, extremely hard, but it will be on backtesting. You will have to bear with me. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, the full and uncut version is going to be on my Patreon. Link to join is in the description. So that will be quite good. So let's get into it here. How do I even create this? What am I looking for? What's the data, etc. Again, if I miss anything, you guys can always comment below and say, hey, I still have this question about backtesting or this or that. This doesn't have to be a singular video. This can be ongoing and I can do updates to it. But this is going to be higher level stuff. I can't get super specific because again, I really need to see a strategy put down on a piece of paper and then I could show you what's happening. But for now, I'm going to do it from scratch. So let's say, right, we want to do more of a price action strategy. So let's look at some indicators that we're going to use. Because of course we're going to use indicators. We want this to be a mechanical strategy. I'm not going to do a human bias strategy. So that includes anything about drawing support and resistance lines without an indicator. That's human bias, therefore you're never going to get the exact same statistical data because you might draw support here this time, but there may be a very, very similar look in the markets from what's happening right here 2 months later. But next time you'll draw it down here for whatever reason. And that can have a massive impact on the validity and the consistency of your results, really rendering your strategy quite useless. So do think of that. If you can use an indicator, indicators that don't repaint, you are going to have a much easier time of it. So let's get into that now. Okay, so getting into it, let's go and use FVGs and order blocks. That's something that price action traders use all the time. So let's do that. So let's go on an indicator and just type in FVG. Don't want to use the sessions one. I want to use something that I've used before. So I'm actually going to type in fair value gap and I'm going to use Spaceman BTC. I'm going to use the Lux Algo one as well, just to see which one I really like. Ignore these ones because I'm obviously using them for something else. So that's what we look like with Lux Algo. That's what we look like with Spaceman BTC. I actually like the Lux Algo one better, so I'm going to use that. So these here, this is what I'll be using for my fair value gap. And now let's type in order block. Again, we're going to see if we can use order blocks with Lux Algo. I'm actually going to put on Sonar Lab as well, just because these guys have worked quite well for me in the past, and I want to see what the difference is. So let's take off that fair value gap. That's what order block detector looks like there. And the Sonar Lab one is not showing up at all. So let's just go on the indicators tab again, just to see if we can find anything. I do like to do this, if I can spell. Order block finder. Let's just go experimental. See what that looks like. That's absolute trash. Okay, cool. All right. Double Lux Algo it is. We've got order blocks, we've got fair value gaps. Fantastic. So I know that I want to have these two things here. I'm also going to put on, just because I think it's such an elite indicator, pivot points auto. I do think it's very, very handy. I don't know how it's going to fit into here, if it'll fit into here at all, but I do like it. For example, I can see maybe some sort of confluence between, okay, if it hits this area here, and then we get an order block through here, perfect. We might come in for a retracement and then hop in. I don't know. That's what I'm starting to think of. So what I'm going to do now that I found 3 indicators, I'm not going to go for any more at this point in time, is move on to my Excel sheet. And I might disappear, my face might, I'm not entirely sure, who knows. But what I'm going to have is date, day, And this is going to be very, very similar to, what was it that we did last time? Journaling, right? I'm going to have date, day. I'm going to have, short or long. I really want to know that. In fact, I'm going to have time. And what you're going to realize here is that I'm going to make quite a few, I'm going to make quite a few changes along the way, right? And that's okay. Everyone thinks, especially with backtesting, that it's got to be this, I need to set everything up perfectly and I need to do all of this. You're never going to do it with backtesting. You're going to make mistakes. Happens to everyone. There's going to be something that you're going to forget and you might have to go back and do another draft. It happens to all of us. Just get started. If you find something later, although it will be really annoying because you might have to go back and start it again, hey, at least you thought of it and you will get some good results from it. So just do keep that in mind, right? So we're going to have the time, we're going to have short and long. I'm going to be looking at how big my stop loss in pips is. I'm going to be going for target TP in a risk to reward ratio, that is. I'm going to go actual, right? So I know even for this, I'm always going to go for a 1 to 2 as a bare minimum. And it looks like what I'm going to have to do here is go text 1 to 2. I know that's what's going to be happening through here. I just want to see how it's going to come out with my actual. So I've got my stop loss in pips, my target TP, what my actual is. I'm going to see if there's a win or a loss. I'm also going to need a before and after photo. I'm also going to need some notes through here. And now we actually get into the indicators themselves. Okay, so when we go win and loss, let's move that over here. So the fair value gap, what are things that I can see? Is a fair value gap bullish or bearish? Bullish, bearish, FVG. And I can make this bigger, I can make it smaller, that's absolutely fine. I could look at the size in terms of pips. For these FVGs, those are the only things that I can see right now. Okay, cool. So then I can look at pivot point. Is it used as support or resistance? Pivot point, support or resistance, right? And then what we're going to have is FVGs. And that's going to be the same thing. Bullish or bearish. And we can also then go in, I can just insert this here, FVG size. That's what I can think of right now, because that's all I can see in terms of this. This may come at, how should I put this? This may be something that's important. Maybe I never go in for really small ones. Maybe I only go for large ones, that they need to be over a certain size. Maybe this needs to happen at a certain time for these FVGs. So I could look at that as well in terms of pip size. Definitely not for support and resistance, that's for sure. Size of FVG. We've done that. This is supposed to be order block. See, you can see I'm already messing myself up. Order block. Order block. Do that instead, right? You can see that I've messed that up already. So bullish or bearish order block, pip size in the order block. It's going to be the same thing over here. And I can see time of order block when it was made, right? And then I can also go over here and do the same thing and insert and go time of FVG. Now that's definitely enough. You can see them all the way up to R. You don't really want to be going too much over this because that's just going to start to upset you and everything that you're doing. If you can't fit it all on one screen and you're having to scroll all the way over, it's just not going to be good for anyone because you're going to have to go through way too much data. If you need more data later, wait for this initial high-end overview to give you more questions. That's what you want. So what I'm going to do is run half an hour. I'm just going to zoom out and I'm just going to go to the start of this month. That's it. That's all I'm going to do in terms of this one. And we can go through there. So, start of this month is here at 1:30 a.m. I just realized there's something else that I've forgotten to put in. Day, time, I am going to go insert, because this is going to make this so much easier for me, the session. I'm going to know anyway by the time, but it just makes it so much easier. Just does. Alright, so, I don't really know what's going to be happening right now. I never do. Let's just think of a hypothesis that we know would work. So, FVGs, in order to be useful, need to be retraced into. Perfect. That's very similar with order blocks as well. So, I could have an order block that is created, have an FVG above it, like this one here, and then I can dip into it and then we can move away from here. I can use these lines to show me if there is one and it's built in the middle in between these two. If there is one above or one below, is it going to actually act as some sort of negative factor where it's going to bounce off, or is it not going to bother me? Right? I just want to see all of these things. I'm just here to gather data. That's something that could happen, but I just want to see what really goes on from here. Because this, you can already expand your mind out from here and go, there's so many options. Am I going to only hop in at the bottom, at the top? Am I able to hop into the middle? Is this going to reject off me? Is it actually going to be a factor in this? Am I better to just leave it? Do I need a large FVG here, a large order block, blah, blah, blah? Do I need to come into these areas? Let's just see what happens in terms of what we've originally gone for. So, that's actually really cool. I'm going to hop into here. I am so hopping into here. I'll tell you why. Hey guys, video editing Alex here again. I have to cut this off. If you want the full version, you know what to do, you know where to click. Patreon in the description below. Hope you found it interesting. I hope this has helped you. Until then, have a prosperous trading day and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.